Kanye West has been borderline harassing Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson over the past couple of days. It's gotten to the point where Kim Kardashian has even personally reached out to Kanye and has asked him to stop out of fear for Pete Davidson's safety. They are concerned that a crazy fan might actually do something to Pete. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the legal hypothetical. What happens if a crazy Kanye West fan hurts Pete Davidson? Could Kanye West be held liable? What's going on, y'all? Attorney Tom here. As we have discussed a couple of times on this channel, in today's video, we are going to be discussing about the responsibility a creator slash entertainer has over his or her fan base. It is a very intriguing legal question. It is one that is really at the forefront of current American jurisprudence with the age of the internet, the creator, the social media economy. I would argue that never before in history have entertainers had such loyal fans, and more so, and more importantly, on top of that, I would argue that these fans never had as much ability to inflict pain, suffering, damage as they do today with tools like social media, where you can easily find somebody's location or harass them over the internet at the very least. So it begs the question, are creators responsible for the actions of their fans? And obviously this is a difficult situation to balance, because we cannot have a situation in which creators or entertainers are responsible for the actions of crazy people who consume their content. But on the other end of the spectrum, there could be actions that are so negligent that they do impute some sort of liability on the creators. So when applying this to the Kanye West situation, let's first look at what has happened, and then we can talk about whether or not we think that there would be some potential liability on Kanye West if something were to happen. So obviously the title of this article says Kanye West leaked text message from Kim Kardashian expressing fear for Pete Davidson's safety after he encouraged fans to scream at him in public, and it sparked a conversation about harassment. And forgive me, I'm going to skip through this article just to the highlights that I find relevant. In January, Ye released a new track in which he mentioned Pete by name, rapping, "God save me from this crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass." Then Kanye recently posted a picture of this Instagram, which he said, "Just so everybody knows, Cudi will not be on Donda because he's friends with you know who. We all speak in Billy language now." You know who refers to Pete Davidson. Then Kanye posted a text message from Pete Davidson that said, "I'd never get in the way of your children. That's a promise. How you guys go about raising your kids is your business and not mine. I do hope one day I can meet them and we can all be friends." Kanye West tweeted that, or Instagrammed that, with the caption, "No, you will not meet my children." And then he Instagrammed, "I didn't wake up and fight for my family to trend over the Super Bowl, but it happened. The Super Bowl brings families together. For everyone married, hold your spouse close and make sure they know how much you love and appreciate them, because there's a skeet lurking in every dirty ass alley waiting to help and destroy your family and walk around in Calvin Klein's around your children. I wish my wife was with me and our children sitting at the 50-yard line. Kim Kardashian, always remember, West was your biggest W." Then after some more Instagrams, he said, "Thank you guys for your support of my family. My family means more to me than any other accomplishment in my life. If anyone loves me and my family, if you see Skeet in real life, scream at that loser at the top of your lungs and say Kanye forever." Then Kanye West allegedly shared this text message that he received from Kim. "You're creating a dangerous and scary environment, and someone will hurt Pete, and this will all be your fault." Captioned with, "Upon my wife's request, please nobody do anything physical to Skeet. I'm going to handle the situation myself." And this text message was accompanied with this picture from the 2001 movie Baby Boy. And he tagged Kim Kardashian here as the individual getting choked out. And then after he posted that, he posted the following text messages. "Well, thank you. There are dangerous people out there, and this is scary, and it doesn't have to be." Okay, now that we have a baseline understanding of what's going on, I'm going to play a clip from the video I made about the Ethan Klein-Ryan Kavanaugh lawsuit, in which we discuss a similar subject. Ryan Kavanaugh and his team have a damage model in which they're trying to hold Ethan responsible for the actions of individuals who consume his content. Now, I have said before on this channel that I can foresee a situation in which that is applicable. And I said in a past video, when the creator is expressly telling their community to do something tortious to the alleged victim. And I'm very careful with my words. I say tortious, not harmful. And I say that because Ethan Klein has been directing his followers to does Ryan Kavanaugh look like HarveyWeinstein.com. This could potentially be deemed as harmful, but is it tortious? Is this embarrassing for Ryan Kavanaugh? Almost certainly yes. But is it a tort? Is it tortious? And I would argue no, because having internet beef with somebody is probably your First Amendment right. So long as you don't pass that line of committing defamation or another tort, and having an opinion that somebody looks like somebody else, as silly or realistic or unrealistic as it is just an opinion, and we need to protect opinions. An example I like to give of a potential action in which I think the creator could be held liable for the actions of their community is doxing. If I doxed Ethan Klein and said Ethan Klein lives at 123 Smith Street, and Ethan Klein is later swatted, or somebody breaks into his home and injures him or his family, I think my actions were so negligent and it was so foreseeable and it was unprotected speech that I could very well be held liable. Okay, so now let's apply that analysis to the hypothetical, and I cannot stress this enough, hypothetical situation in which a crazy Kanye West fan hurts Pete Davidson. This has not actually happened. I'm just a lawyer, and this is how lawyers think. We go through these hypotheticals all the time. That's the point of this video. Hypothetically, a crazy fan hurts Pete Davidson. Could Pete Davidson hold Kanye West responsible? So in this hypothetical situation, if I represented Pete Davidson, I would sue Kanye West on a theory of negligence. The ultimate question of negligence is, did Kanye West act as a reasonably prudent person would have done under the same or similar circumstance? There are 4 elements needed to establish negligence: duty, breach of that duty, causation, damages. And in this hypothetical situation, this case would clearly rely on one of those elements. That element being, did Kanye West have a duty to keep Pete Davidson safe? There are clearly damages. There's clearly causation, because Kanye West's rhetoric is what engaged this crazy fan to take action against Pete Davidson. So ultimately, it comes down to, does Kanye West have a duty to Pete Davidson? And then, if he does, then you can assume that he breached that duty with his rhetoric. Now, what Kanye West or his legal team would argue in this hypothetical is free speech. Kanye West has the right to express himself. He's a public figure. Pete Davidson's a public figure. They are always in the spotlight. He's an artist. He needs to express himself. The First Amendment. So I found this handy little article about what type of speech is not protected by the First Amendment. And if we go down here to crimes involving speech, the First Amendment also does not provide protection for forms of speech that are used to commit a crime, such as perjury, extortion, or harassment. Additionally, threats. Speech is not usually protected when it constitutes a threat towards another that places the target on such speech of bodily harm or death. There are certain exceptions, such as when a reasonable person would understand that the language would not be a credible threat. Additionally, threats of mere social ostracism or boycotts are protected by the Constitution. So here are the 2 relevant exceptions to the First Amendment that I think are applicable here. And as many of y'all know, if you followed this channel before, the answer is always, it depends. It's going to depend on what a jury thinks. Some jurors might not think Kanye West's actions constitute harassment. Because if a jury finds that this is not protected speech, I think then you can pretty easily make the logical inference, okay, it wasn't protected speech, he was harassing. If he's harassing, he has a duty to somebody not to harass them. And then you just go down the negligence pipeline. Was it foreseeable that Kanye West has a crazy fan who engages in conduct on Kanye's behalf? I think probably yes. And then, obviously the damages in this hypothetical situation We don't even need to go there. So of course it depends. It's going to depend on the state where this action is brought. What are their definitions of harassment? What are their definitions of threats? As always, it depends, but it's an interesting legal concept that I think will come up at some point in time, not necessarily with this case, but just the way things are going on the internet. Statistically, I think there's going to be a case similar to that. And I'm just trying to provide my analysis as this jurisprudence shapes up. But I want to know y'all's thoughts. Do you think what Kanye West is doing is harassment? If in that hypothetical situation in which something would happen to Pete Davidson, do you think Kanye West should or could be held liable? Let me know in the comments below. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.
He's a catastrophic injury attorney who accidentally became a YouTuber. Attorney Tom.